Hey, this is Mike Busey, and when I'm not touching myself, I'm listening to Toxic Radio. Don't play it safe, play it toxic.
Hey, buddy. Rah. Hey, man, that's a sweet heavy metal happy hour t-shirt. Where'd you pick that up?
Thanks, dude. I got it at the Toxic Radio shop.
Toxic Radio has a shop?
Yeah, dude. It's in the app or online at toxicradio.net.
That is sweet.
Yeah, and I also got a rockin' Toxic Radio hoodie and a Red Band Underground shirt. Dude, I'm gonna look so rockin' at the party tomorrow.
Well, I think you look pretty now.
Oh, wait, what?
The Toxic Radio shop is the place to get all your Toxic Radio gear. Shirts, hoodies, stickers. Find it at toxicradio.net or on the app. Don't buy it safe. Buy it toxic. Hey, where you going, man?
Hi, it's Steve Morrison from the President Steve Show, and you're listening to Toxic Radio. Get infected like you would with a cheap hooker.
While you're rocking with us at Toxic Radio, don't forget to check us out on social media.
I want details, and I want them right now.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Now you're talking, brother.
Chat with us, keep up on news. Just don't make it weird. Don't be a stalker. Don't be that guy.
You just want to suck the joy out of everything.
Toxic Radio. Get infected. Well, here we are, starting to work our way into this new normal.
Oh, what fresh hell is this?
Actually, it's not so bad. Coming out of our houses, social distancing, wearing masks. Actually, I kind of like that part. I feel like a sexy bandit. Except, sometimes I forget my pants.
What the hell?
The point is, we're all going to get through this. Take care of each other. Be considerate. Wash your hands. And remember, Toxic Radio is here for you. We'll rock you with the music and entertain you with the shows. We'll make it just a little easier to adjust to this weird new world.
I love you guys.
We're not going anywhere, and we appreciate you being along for the ride.
Enjoy your pants.
Oh yeah, you betcha. Remember, play life safe. Play your radio toxic.
All right. Ready?
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Taking It Deep, your favorite time of the week, every Thursday. We got tons to talk about today. We have tons of interesting news, clickbait or not, Cuck of the Week, the world premiere of that segment. Being a cuck himself, Mike is very, very excited for this segment of the show. Don't say anything if you're a cuck, Mike. I knew it. I fucking knew it.
What the hell is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? You're a horrible human being. You know that?
Mike's not a cuck, but he's not a cuck.
No.
If he was, though, I think he'd be top 10.
No, I'm not. Top 10. I mean, at least I get the top 10. I mean,
yeah, potential.
That's something. It makes me feel a little better about myself, maybe. I'm not sure. That's how we're starting this off? I'm a cuck? Is that?
No.
Wasn't in the show notes.
Well, that's called a sneak attack.
I thought that's when you farted downstairs.
No, that is a sneak attack as well. That's called one cheek sneak.
The one cheek sneak.
The one cheek
we
sneak.
got a name for the episode.
The one cheek sneak. Yes,
one
we
cheek
did.
sneak.
So, I don't know if you guys knew about this or not, but there is some heavy, heavy news going on out there, and I wanted to share this video with you. I sent it to Mike and give him a few moments to prop that up over there.
The one you sent me over?
Yes.
All right, I'm queuing it up right now.
Hold on.
What?
We got the auxiliary on?
Do you need the auxiliary? Because I can do the audio from over here.
Yes, I do.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but this is some breaking news.
I think that's Oh my god! I think that's like 5 news intros.
It was
once.
a Puff Diddy remix. So I need you to so pull up this video. So it's very controversial. Now stick with me. This isn't what you think. The 2-minute video. I think you'll thank me after this. There's no BLM. There's no Antifa involved. Listen to this gentleman. Very profound.
My name is Andrew Christensen. I live at 1212 Twin Ridge Road. Lincoln has the opportunity to be a social leader in this country. We have been casually ignoring a problem that has gotten so out of control that our children are throwing around names and words without even understanding their true meaning and treating things as though they're normal. I go into nice family restaurants and I see people throwing this name around and pretending as though everything is just fine. I'm talking about boneless chicken wings.
Huh.
I propose that we as a city remove the... Excuse me, I'm trying to...
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Sure.
Come on. I propose that we as a city remove the name boneless wings from our menus and from our hearts. These are our reasons why. Number 1, nothing about boneless chicken wings actually come from the wing of a chicken. We would be disgusted if a butcher was mislabeling their cuts of meats, but then we go around and pretending as though the breast of the chicken is its wing. Number 2, boneless chicken wings are just chicken tenders, which are already boneless. I don't go to order boneless tacos. I don't go and order boneless club sandwiches. I don't ask for boneless auto repair. It's just what's expected.
Boneless auto repair.
And then number 3, we need to raise our children better. Our children are raised being afraid of having bones attached to their meat. That's where meat comes from. It grows on bones. We need to teach them that the wing of a chicken is from a chicken, and it's delicious. I propose that we rename boneless wings in the city of Lincoln. We can call them buffalo-style chicken tenders. We can call them wet tenders. We can call them saucy nugs or trash.
Saucy nugs.
We can take these steps and show the country that where we stand, and that we understand that we've been living a lie for far too long. And we know it because we feel it in our bones.
Thank you, Andrew. Okay, hold it down, please.
I would like to just comment here. For the record, that's my son.
So someone from the audience said they couldn't hear it, but they could hear me. I don't know. We'll find out. But the good news is, if you did not hear it, and you want to hear that part of the episode, you will be able to listen to the downloaded podcast to hear that audio, just in case. Or that person could be lying and they're having an IT-10T moment, but, you know. That being said...
we are getting comments in the chat room, and I can put them up here that would lead me to believe that people can hear it, because one person said, saucy nugs, I dig it. And another person said, should they stop calling them chicken fingers too?
So that person would be having a technical error.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you, sir, you were wrong, and we were right. And thank you for trying to help us out, though, but we're going to give you... It's a golf clap.
Making me look like I ain't doing my job correctly. I do my job. I take care of my kids.
Yeah, so I've always felt this way about boneless wings. Like, what the fuck? They're not wings.
They're not.
They're not wings.
They're not wings.
What is wrong with you
stop
people?
Stop calling them wings. They're not a chicken leg or a chicken wing in any way, shape, or form. Just stop it. They're chicken. You can call them chicken tenders. I'm okay with that. You can call them chicken nugs, chicken nuggets, but they're not wings. They're not boneless wings. It's horrible. It's a ridiculous thing, and I hate ordering it every time I go out, but they are delicious.
Yes, I agree. I do hate ordering every time I go out. I prefer the bone in. I'm a bone guy.
Yeah.
Make all the
all the
perverted jokes you want. That I said I want the bone in my mouth. You can make all the jokes you want.
I'm the type of guy that sticks the wing in my mouth and sucks all the meat off of the bone dry until there's no meat left.
Do you make sucking sounds?
I do, because you've got to get it off of the bone fully. If I had I wish I had a plate of wings. Can somebody bring us some wings? I would demonstrate live on the show. You should have. If you were a good host, you would have brought wings. What is wrong with you? You're failing.
I ate some actually myself, and I ate them last night and this morning. Sorry, guys. It's just kind of how it has to roll.
But I agree with them. It's frustrating. It's stupid. It's annoying, and it's falsification.
It is falsification. Okay, it is, and I'm tired of this. And I, for one, will not be buying these dressed up nuggets. saucy nugs. How about the video you see online right now? And if you like vegan stuff, I'm all for it. I've had some that's tasty. You couldn't tell the difference. But they're like, it's the one where they're eating the vegetarian nuggets. It's all over Facebook. You see the ad, you're like, oh my God, these nugs are so good. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why am I seeing a vegan nugget video? I've never bought a vegan nugget in my life. That's not wings, folks. That's not wings. I need you to get your fucking shit straight. That's all I got to say. So, we're going to jump into honorable mentions because we'd like to have an honorable mention of Philadelphia. And Philadelphia has clocked in at second as far as the worst city to drive in. Survey finds. It says our parking is high. It says...
How could they beat out New York? New York fucking sucks.
So,
okay, I was going second. Okay, New York is first then. Okay.
Drivers in the city of brotherly love, and this is on Philadelphia, CBSLocal.com. They spend most time stuck in traffic, according to Wallet Hub. The city is also tied for the highest parking rates in the country. In case you were wondering who was number one, you were incorrect. It's not New York. It's Oakland is number one. I think Oakland was on Parking Wars, too. I think there's a theme here. The companies that own the parking, because Philadelphia sold it off, that run these companies are the jerk-offs. I'm going to give you an example. I was getting tickets I was paid for parking. They said you didn't pay. They were run by, and money, right? And they would say, oh, it's not correct. So what happened was, put your car on the app, you have to take a photo of your license plate, and then that's how they know. They look it up. But I found out later on it was a digit off. Exactly. Now, what's odd is that after a year and a half of going through this, having to fight to get tickets dismissed, then they updated the app to say, make sure all your digits are in the app. Now, it's one thing if you have to enter the digit in, but if you're going to give a photo option app, and it's taking a photo and uploading it, you're not entering in, you're capturing a photo for the app to work properly. So, that being said, that's the problem there when you have public services that are privately owned. But in case you're wondering, the best would be Lincoln, Nebraska, which is who just blessed us with this mighty, mighty anti-boneless wing rant. Did you see when somebody laughed and was like, excuse me, sir?
He had a serious friggin' discussion. I mean,
I
think
was
he has
trolling.
a lot of
He
people,
had to be trolling.
Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but whether he was or wasn't, the man made a good point. Okay? A movie could be just telling a story, but during that story, it could have an epic point, an epic meaning in your life. That man's rant touched me.
It touched you?
It touched me.
Where? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
If I had a doll, I'd show you. But that rant touched me, and I agree with him. I agree with him wholeheartedly. And actually, I would like some nuggets. Can somebody get us some nuggets?
Back to Philly. I agree with them. I'm not even going to look at the stats because one of the worst highways is 76 because it's carved out of the side of a fucking mountain. If you're on that highway and it's raining a lot and it starts to flash flood, people will, and still to this day, turn around and go the opposite way to get off that highway.
Yeah.
I've seen it several times.
Uh-huh.
I avoid it at all costs, and I have to venture around or past it to get here to do the show every week.
Once you're on there, you're trapped like a fucking rat.
Yeah,
there's nowhere to go,
and you can't expand it because it's on a hill and then on the side of a mountain.
And forget about it if you break down.
Oh, you're fucked.
Fucked.
Just leave the car there.
Leave it there.
Yeah.
Go away.
Make sure you have gas.
Wave to it as you go backwards.
Yeah. So. Yeah, someone asked for Puppet Mike. I don't know where he's at. I think he's...
They want me to show where it touched me on Puppet Mike.
Oh, yeah. I think Puppet Mike has been touched, and that's why he's in the corner. He looks like he's been touched. Oh,
that doll has been manhandled by El Wingador of all people. So I mean,
Jesus,
he's been manhandled up, down, left, right, A, B, select A, start. It's just crazy.
So another thing here is another honorable mention is, how about people that put announcements out for retirement that were A, not good at what they were doing, or B, didn't do it for that long? I think that's a violation, and that's why when someone does that, you hear this in the background. Hi, I just got my CDL, and I've been driving truck for a day and a half, and I'd like to let everybody know I'm retiring.
I mean,
I've done all I can in this day and a half.
I mean, doing it that way is a good method to make sure that you go out on top. I mean, you get in, you get out, boom, you're done. You took it deep, and you bailed out gracefully.
Speaking of taking it deep, I'm a shameless plug, and if I won't wear my merch, who will? New shirt coming in. You can get on the website, Taking It Deep with the Godfrey, as you guys see. Hat, we got to go through a different channel, but the rumor is we are going to have some Taking It Deep hat offerings on the Taking It Toxic store soon.
Yes, you can get there. You can get there through the app. You can get there through the official site. Also, we do have links that we've been placing up on our social media, and we will be adding more and more stuff to the shop. I just got told recently that a certain individuals, ladies, I should say, ladies, are asking why there's no Lady V-cut T-shirts.
That definitely needs to happen,
and they want those, so we're going to get that up there. So we got a lot going on.
Would you pay more attention to a logo if it was on me or a lady?
So we're going to get girl cuts.
Not me.
And then we need some ladies to come in during Taking It Deep to model these.
We could have a fashion show. I'm feeling it right now.
Are you feeling it?
Yeah.
I'm feeling it.
We'll have to do a Zoom runway. No,
yes.
But yeah, so if you want to listen to this show or past shows, what you can do is if you're fortunate enough to be on the Toxic Radio app, which is now on Android and Apple. So you go to the Play Store on either one or the iTunes Store in Apple, and you can download it. And if you can't do that, and you just got to use the old-fashioned internet, toxicradio.net, and you can get everything on there that you can get on the app. It is free. This show is free because we are in a charitable mood. And I will tell you that all past episodes are on there as well. And that's that. You want to call in, 856-485-9565. We like to talk football here, and as the season approaches, we will have Uncle Pat on in the second hour.
Uncle Pat!
And or the back half of the show. Unless he fell asleep, then he might not. So, with that being said, we'll be talking about NFL season win totals, but we have a lot of other stuff that we need to do before that is breaking. Taco Bell has something in the headlines. We're going to do our clickbait it or not, and our cuck of the week. We've already. I'm just going to say, even though he had a strong argument, Boneless Wingman going to a City Hall Council meeting to talk about boneless wings is our cuck of the week. So, yeah, you're cuck of the week, bud. Sorry about that. Oops, wrong one.
I was going to do like cuck.
Cuck of the week.
Cuck of the week.
Cuck. We should do like a heavy metal promo. Cuck of the week. Cuck.
Cuck.
More cuck.
More cock. More raw. More cock in your butt. Cuck.
Wow, Mike went a little too far right there.
I'm very sleepy, by the way. Let me just. I was almost taking a nap when Matt walked in.
You're probably.
I'm going to be a little punch drunky.
Mike
this
will
episode,
fall asleep during the sports portion.
Oh my God!
That.
The days of falling asleep during a broadcast are way behind me. We used to back almost 10 years ago. It used to be everybody just passing out on microphones. We don't do that much anymore unless Pat comes in, and it might happen.
Yeah, it might. So THEEGODFRUI is my name, The Godfrey, and you can catch me on Instagram, Twitter. You can catch us on our page live like now, Taking It Deep with The Godfrey. Give it a like, share it on Facebook, and you can find me on Facebook that way on my personal profile. Mike, there's also some other ways they can watch the video too. What is the...
To watch the live or past?
The live and the past. We have a YouTube channel.
YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/playittoxic, because you know how it goes. You don't play it safe. You play it toxic. But then you could also go over to Take It Deep's Facebook page, which is facebook.com/ I don't think that was it. And also, we're going to be working on some new and fun and interesting video clips for you guys. We're taking it to a whole nother level. We're taking it deep. Takes it far.
Yeah. That's still a prototype. So, getting back to Taco Bell, in the news today, as we were saying before, and if I could ever get my trusty, shitty app to work, fucking thing, I swear to God, I hate this thing. But, with that being said, you know, you ever buy a free app and I just want to buy it, but I can't, but it's free and it's on, and it always seems to happen in Apple a lot more than Android. You get a million fucking pop-up ads when you get something that's free.
Yes, and it sucks. It totally, completely, and utterly sucks.
What's that? Is that Taco Bell news?
I guess it is.
Uh-oh. So Taco Bell is cutting even more menu items. That's right, 2020, they're taking everything from us, from Taco Bell and Mexican pizza to whatever we lost. Lots of lives in Corona and sports and summer. It stole summer. Let's just say
I want the fire taco back, or whatever the hell it was called. There's a lot of stuff I want back. I want all that fire.
That's on the S&M menu, so... Yeah, Taco Bell is cutting even more, as we said, including the Mexican pizza. So, when Taco Bell removed more than a dozen items and its beloved potatoes from its menu in August, fans savored their last orders, mourned their losses, and fat asses got up and ran as fast as they can like it was the ice cream truck. I added that. And I've had Taco Bell, so I'm not judging, especially sober and non-sober. But by the way, they had the nacho fries recently. They sucked ass. That was horrible. That was like trash. But they survived the cuts. But if you thought your go-to order was safe after the major menu revamp, and by the way, the one thing that made people upset is getting rid of the Mexi Melt. That's an all-time favorite. We're sorry to report that you've been wrong. Taco Bell announced yet another round of cuts on Thursday, including the Mexican pizza. Oh my God. The Mexican pizza is a longtime favorite.
I'm beside myself.
I mean, you feel like this after you eat it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Talk about, man, that one's loud. But they're killing it. And that is the Mexican pizza's gone. But it's not just that. Shredded chicken, soft taco, shredded chicken burrito, and shredded chicken quesadilla melt and pico de gallo are also leaving the menu. Not pico de gallo. Does anybody really give a shit about pico de gallo? Is it like, oh, who puts that? Does anybody out there go, hey, I want nachos, and can I get extra pico on my nachos?
I mean, I enjoy it.
Do you like it that much?
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yep. Well, and guys, I know we said last week we'll be doing worst 90 movies. We're moving that to next week, so that's not getting done this week. I can't help it. Taco Bell just pushed that topic right off the table.
Now, what is your favorite item from Taco Bell? If you're done, I don't know if you're done with what you were saying, but
well, we could continue on, but I like the Crunchwrap Supreme steak minus lettuce. Hold the lettuce, or the steak quesadilla with a side of sour cream.
Oh, dude. The
steak quesadilla is really my number one, actually. I got to change that.
I absolutely 100%. What was it? Do they still even have it? The XXL grilled burrito.
The stuffed burrito?
Oh, this grilled stuffed burrito. Oh.
Yeah, well,
I'll get that. I'll get one of the big boxes that comes with like 20 tacos. Yeah, there it is. Oh my God, let me bring this up. My mouth is. Yeah, that's basically what's going on right here. One of those things. Oh man.
I mean, if you eat that much, you will be making sounds like that. I'm just gonna let you guys know.
And also a chalupa all day, every day. I mean, how can you go wrong?
That's true. I mean, you can't go wrong with a chalupa. You really can't. So, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. So, the T-Bell diehards, which is the Taco Bell diehards, the list of cuts is mercifully shorter than what we saw in the previous round of farewells on August 13th. But the T-Bell diehards, especially Mexican pizza fans, I used to love that forever, but I haven't gotten it in a long time, to be fair, are certainly in for some disappointment. The chain hopes that its new 3 Doritos Locos Taco combo, which will replace Mexican pizza combo, will make this loss sting a bit less. So here's the thing. They'll bring it back eventually. This is the company's moves. Everything's limited edition, and, you can only get it now, to the point where it's even hitting food, right? Like, if you really wanted to get them to make a Mexi Melt, you could say, hey, can I get a burrito with just this in it, and it could be the Mexi Melt ingredients, and you have your Mexi Melt. You know that's true, right?
Oh yeah, you can order whatever you want and make them do it. I mean, that's what that's almost any place other than McDonald's, I think.
And you could go to a real Mexican joint and get a tostada, because that's eventually, I guess a tostada is really what a Mexican pizza is a playoff of, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not authentic Mexican food. You're not going to go across the border to Mexico City and be like, hey, Who makes your best Mexican pizza here? I would like your Mexican pizza. Who makes your best?
Yeah, that's not happening. That is not happening in any way, shape, or form.
Si, senor?
See?
Mexican pizza? You mean Domino's?
They come out with just a regular pizza with some Doritos, some chips all over it.
Yeah, and what I've learned by traveling is that when you get a food that's good in a specific country and you go to another country and they make their version of it, it's either good and it's a different version, or it's horrendous because they tried to make it like the same one. It could be chicken wings. I remember eating a hot dog in the Dominican Republic. I wanted to die. I thought it was a bag of flour with skin around it. I don't know what it was. I wouldn't even eat it. It was the worst thing ever. People couldn't even eat it when they were drunk, but whatever.
Oh, you can eat anything when you're drunk. Trust me, I've done it.
I mean, this thing,
I
believe you could.
You can eat anything.
I'm not going to doubt your ability, Mike.
I'm just saying, sometimes French fries on the top of a trash can look good.
So we got, next up, clickbait or not. And this was something that a lot of people were talking about this week. And it was having to do with Corona, but not getting political here. We're just talking about something the CDC released, and there was a pretty quick knee-jerk reaction by a lot of people. But, which is understandable, because at the end of the day, no one's perfect, right? But that's why we got to get out of this habit. My problem is when online, what discourages me when you share stuff with people and you talk to them about it and they get into this in-depth conversation, and then you get into the conversation and you're like, well, can I ask you a question? Did you read the article? And you're like, no, I didn't read it yet, but I can read it later if you want me to. But you have all of this fucking opinion on it, and you haven't read it. Like, that could be about cooking, sports, whatever. Why do people do that? Do you ever see people do that, Mike? It's a pet peeve of mine. It burns me up when people do that. I fucking can't stand that shit.
People do it all the time. Come on.
It's like, okay. Yeah, people do it all the time. And it's okay that they do. No one's perfect. I don't expect perfection. I'm not perfect. But the thing that pisses me off is like, okay, guys, if you're gonna get in depth and then take like a stance against it, but you didn't read it,
right?
Like, what the fuck, man?
Now I might not read a whole article, but I'll try to find the important parts.
I'm not asking for a book report. At least get the gist of what you're going for or against. So this is what brought this up. The internet's been lit up, and this is off. I find this guy to be very good as far as information, very down the middle. Calls things out for what it is. ZDogg, and that's so it's ZDoggMD.com. He's a doctor. He explains things about coronavirus around there because there's a lot of hype. The pandemic doctor, he broke that down, and he has a video about this, an 8-minute video, but I just kind of surfed through it, and everybody got all mad, Twitter deleting stuff, and they deleted this for being fake information, and it led to a storm of misunderstandings about what the data means from the CDC. Now, I would go on a limb here and say most people on average, including myself, are not going to be CDC data experts. What do you think?
Safe Absolutely bet? Not.
Safe bet? Safe bet that people aren't a data scientist?
Safe bet. Okay. Safe bet.
So, or an epidemiologist?
I can't even spell that.
Now, I don't think I can either. So, that being said, that's neither here nor there. It doesn't mean you can't question it because you're not that person, or read it, or try to understand it. It's just having some certain understandings that there might be some holes that you're missing because it's not your expertise. So you have to have an open mind going either way. So he quickly explained what's going on. So he said you can make your own decisions about what you think. All right, here's the deal. What happened was CDC released death certificate data for about 160,000 deaths that included COVID-19 on their death certificates. Now, any medical professional who fills out a death certificate understands kind of how it's done. You list the main cause of death and then anything that contributes. And so the certificate can have multiple things on it. You can have things that were pre-existing like diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, and then you can have the main disease like, say, it's COVID-19, And then you can have things that COVID-19 might have led to in the visit, like respiratory failure, respiratory arrest, cardiac arrest, heart failure, adult respiratory distress syndrome, and you list all those things on the document. Now, here's what happened. What the CDC did was they put all this out and they said, listen, 6% of all the fatalities that listed COVID-19 somewhere had only COVID-19 on the death certificate, meaning that they didn't list anything else. And the way that was interpreted by people online who have a particular agenda, and I'm not talking about regular people, I'm talking about people who, The Rock did have the coronavirus, by the way, and he's recovering. I believe his kids might have had it too. Look that up for me real quick if you can, Mike.
I'm on it.
And interpreted by people online who have a particular agenda. And when I say people online have an agenda, understand that there are people out there that are bad actors that make misinformation purposeful, or they're just not good at, explaining that information. Like, you could run across a bad mechanic. Like, that guy sucks at fixing cars. Might be a mechanic, but he blows. That guy's a bad chef. Well, some people are bad storytellers, or they have bad websites that just aren't truthful or aren't accurate, or they're not thorough. And you have to analyze stuff like that. So if it might be too much for you, my advice would be fuck Facebook. I know that sounds crazy because you're listening to me on it right now, but I would respect the decision. So, that being said, you can have multiple things on there, okay?
Apparently there's video of The Rock. Do you want to see this?
Not yet.
Okay.
We'll get through this, and then we'll do that, and then get into football. But now, so what happened was 6% of all the fatalities that the COVID-19 listed somewhere had only COVID-19 on, as I was telling you. And this is where the people went nuts. They don't agree with the way this is being handled. They think the lockdowns are too severe. They think it means the people have all these other medical problems that are listed on the death certificate. They're dying of those, and it just so happens they also have COVID-19. So they're dying with COVID-19 instead of COVID. And the 6% is the true death rate of 160,000 or whatever that is. So it's vastly smaller, much less serious. Why are we all doing this? It's a hoax, and the CDC admits it in their data. Now, people want to insulate their opinions. So when they find something that agrees with what they want to insulate, they add on to it. It's like someone just eating and adding on fat. It's the same thing. You're adding fat on your opinion. You don't want to be challenged for it. But as the guy continues, stop for a second. I don't care what your politics are. I don't think if you disagree with that, what's happening and lockdowns are bad, and Master Dam and all that, look, I actually am sympathetic to you. Meaning he's saying, like, just because you think the lockdowns are bad, and you could be right about that, that's not the disease itself, doesn't mean the disease itself is fake. You know what I mean? So, and he's sympathetic to that, and so am I. The misunderstanding the science in the simplest form. Anybody who put that information out there saying, look, needs to be understood as completely uncredible source of anything having to do with medicine ever. And this is why. 6% of death certificates said COVID, and that's it. Now, that could mean that people filling out the death certificates were complete. They didn't put all their other stuff, or COVID-19 was the only thing they had, and there were no other, that's a huge word. We're going to skip it. Or other diseases that the person had, and they truly died purely of COVID. And that's a real tragedy because we don't typically see that unless you're quite old, which is possible, okay? Doesn't mean it's not possible. It just means on a slow rate. Also, mistakes do happen either way, right? When COVID was in its height in certain areas, these hospitals are overwhelmed. So there could be people just saying, fuck it, it's COVID, and not listing any other shit because there's so much shit going on there if you're filled up. So, that's pretty much it. I'm not going to go on a whole lecture about that, but to say it's 6% of the 160,000 deaths are actually only COVID, and you jump on that, it's because you want it to be that. Now, question the methods, question the way we're getting out of it, question, the lockdown, question remote learning, question all that stuff. That's fine. But the disease itself is real. And if you listen to scientists and pull away from all the political, white noise where politicians want to politicize these scientists by nature are not politicians. They're going to give you the answer you don't want to hear or you do want to hear. They're just going to tell you what they know and what they don't know and what they're finding out. And they've made that very clear if you sit down and listen to them. And I challenge people out there to not listen to what other people say about a scientist and listen to the scientist actually talk. You know, I know someone that works at the same institution as Dr. Fauci, and they're so afraid of that. And this is months ago. They told me that they can't even do on-camera interviews because they don't want things to get misinterpreted. Because that's what happens. People twist it, they edit it, they slice it up, and then all of a sudden they're like, I gotcha, here's the smoking gun. You know what I mean? It's just, that's it. And that is, the article, clickbait or not, was the article that said, oh, here's the real CDC data. And when I say the article, I mean all the articles that got pumped out there immediately. People's fingers couldn't move fast enough. You have to question even the information. We should know by now. That's, you know, just because it's on Facebook doesn't mean it's any more trustworthy than TV or vice versa. And I'm not saying trust TV. Am I right here, Mike?
You're absolutely correct. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, others might not believe in what you're spouting, but I am a person that believes in.
How dare you call me a teapot?
News, statistics. Yeah, I wouldn't say news, statistics and doctors and all that kind of stuff. News will skew it depending on which news outlet you're watching. But if it comes from a doctor, it comes from a university, it comes from a specialist, a known person who is, you know, spent their life as an expert in something, and they tell you something, you should probably listen to them. I mean, at the end of the day, when it becomes politics, that's when it just becomes washed out. It becomes, you know, let me pick whatever part of this will, you know, fit my agenda. It's ridiculous. So I totally agree.
Yeah, so with that, we're going into football. We're gonna get.
And are you over there trying to get Pat and see if he's calling in because it's past the time he was supposed to call in?
No. I've thrown the life raft out and I've given up on that.
Did he? You've thrown the life.
And
he's passed out somewhere on a couch.
Good thing I'm not waiting for him. I might have drowned. I might have been like, Pat, where's the fucking life raft? You know.
That guy's a great guy. I love him. He's funny as hell. But goddamn.
He'll be on here. His phone might have died, because I did call him and it went straight to. We'll get him on here. We'll get him in person. Give you guys a real treat.
I'm gonna buy you a charger, Pat. I'm gonna buy you a charger.
You could buy him 1,000 chargers. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, but that's okay.
I do like how you have gotten to the point that you understand that talking sports with me is basically you talking like the teacher from the Peanuts, and all I'm going to hear is wah 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 wah. I can give you little bits here and there, but I'm really not going to be able to give you the input and the viewpoint that you're looking for. I'm sorry about that. I am less of a man. I do not watch any sports.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, you know, video games are sports.
Yes, they are. I mean, you make a lot of money at that.
Esports. You can make money at it.
You make a shit ton of money. I mean, I've gone to some of these events, the esports events.
Let me ask you a question.
Ridiculous. What?
How many allergy pills do you think were taken at that event all at once? Two allergy pills per person?
Oh, what? At the eSport?
How many people were allergic to peanuts?
It was funny because I did go with my buddy and co-host from Deviant Gamer. We went to it, and we did look around, and we were pretty much sizing up everybody there in terms of how nerdy they were and how much we could kick everybody's ass. It was very interesting, especially the athletes that were up on stage.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It's funny because now with sports, you're gonna see this guy and be like, wow, that guy's in great shape. I'm not running that 4.40, but I feel like there's a whole separate thing of trash talk of video games. You're like, I could beat that fuck face. Yeah, okay. Lucky. You got lucky. You got lucky. I'm down here in this crowd. I'm eating popcorn, but he got lucky.
That's the whole thing. That's the joke of like carpal tunnel. My wrist, it gave out.
Yeah, carpal tunnel's in it. My mom got carpal tunnel from working her ass off, but everybody else seems to be getting it from.
The mouse was sticky.
Nice. Yeah, well, you can make money doing it though. I mean, it's definitely.
You can make a living.
Definitely an emerging thing.
Yeah, it's not emerging. It is out there. I mean,
sports athletes to own teams.
In Philly, they broke ground last year on the fact that they are building in the same.
Well, they would have been playing there already if the pandemic didn't happen.
Right, if the pandemic didn't happen, but they already broke ground and they are building in the same sports complex.
What's Philly's team?
As the Eagles and as the Flyers, and they're going to be erecting the first ever full-on esports arena, which is huge.
Nice.
It's the Philadelphia Fusion, by the way.
Nice. So.
And I mean, if you want to start covering that shit, I'm there.
Yeah. I bet you're there.
I'm there.
Well, we are going to talk NFL season win totals. I was hoping to get Patrick on here. Hey, can we make outbound calls? Is that possible?
Not with the new system right now. I can
enable
it, but we'll work on it for next time.
I want to crank call people.
We'll work on it for next time.
Here, we're gonna do this with Pat right now. We're gonna do.
Oh Jesus!
Oh my God! It's ringing. It's ringing. The theater is amazing.
Call has been forwarded.
Oh my God! He better be getting a goddamn Hummer right now. So we're going to talk about win totals. Last week we went over the NFC East, the AFC East, and the AFC North. And I believe we did the AFC West, but I can't remember. But that being said, we've got plenty of other divisions to go on. So we're going to go with the AFC South right now. And you got the Texans, the Colts, the Jaguars, and the Titans. So how many wins are they going to get? Now, when I look at these teams, the Texans are coming in after trading DeAndre Hopkins to the Arizona Cardinals at 7.5 wins. Now, do I see them over that? Their defense makes plays, but they can give up points. J.J. Watt's always fighting health. They have a lot of other good players on defense. Besides that, making the trade for David Johnson, do I see they get 7.5 wins? I'm going to go on the over with them at 7.5 wins, and I will take that if I were to bet that team total. Who wins the division? We'll come up with that by we get to the end of it. Now, we got the Tennessee Titans, 8.5 wins, went to the semifinals last year. Ryan Tannehill ascended to the starting quarterback job. Marcus Mariota got benched, which I accurately and correctly and confidently predicted here on Taking It Deep with the Godfrey last year, at least 4 or 5 weeks before it happened. Did you know that, Mike? You probably didn't listen to that show, but we actually
I did not know that.
Now, Ryan Tannehill.
You're like Kreskin.
I am. Ryan Tannehill said he would enhance that team's offensive capability, but that doesn't mean he's Joe Montana. And they're at 8.5 wins. They lost some offensive linemen. Do they go over 8.5? Yeah, I said they get 9 wins. It's going to be a hotly contested division here. So they're going to go over 8.5. I would definitely take that. Then we got the Indianapolis Colts, which are a lot of people's surprise team. And this total right here surprises me at 9. So 9 is the total for the Colts. And I think, oh, no, did I look at that wrong? No, I didn't. It is 9. So right now they're saying they're going to win the division, right? I mean, at 9. And I don't know if I really trust that number. How good is Phillip Rivers? They got a good coaching staff. They have a good offensive line. They had some good draft picks. Health is going to really be a key thing here. I would go over 9, and I think they're going to be your division winner there this year. The Texans are going to follow with a wild card. And that's right. The Titans might not even make it. I know. I'm crazy for saying that, right? So, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars, 4.5 wins. I'm going to go under. It's a low total, but 4.5 wins. They just cut Leonard Fournette. They're getting rid of all their good players. It looks like they're tanking. They say they aren't. I don't know. That would lead you to believe otherwise. So that's your AFC South totals. Now we got we're going to go AFC West. And we might as well go to our AFC West totals because that's where DeAndre Hopkins went from the Texans to the Arizona Cardinals, which was a shocker of a trade. I don't think anybody really saw that coming. And they definitely think at this point that the Texans did lose that trade because they lost DeAndre Hopkins. So the Arizona Cardinals are at 7.5 wins. Will they win the division? Will they go over that? I say I would go over for them on 7.5 wins. They're getting a lot of hype, a lot of offensive talent. I could see them being an 8-win team. Maybe they're a little bit better than that. They play very fast, and Kyler Murray should have a better year this year. So I am okay with drafting him as a fantasy quarterback and going over 7.5 wins. So then you also have in that division the Los Angeles Rams, who just are moving into a new stadium. It's getting kind of spoiled by Corona, SoFi Stadium. If you've been watching the Hard Knocks series on NFL, which follows the Los Angeles Chargers and the Los Angeles Rams training camp, you would get a little preview of that. They're at 8.5 wins. You know, they have some talent on that team. They lack depth. I'm really worried about that team. They had to give up a lot. Is there a lot of hype coming out there? Because, 8.5 is a lot. I'm going to go under on their 8.5. Shocker here, but I'm going to go under. They've been on a downward trend. They got a lot of talent, but not a lot of depth. That's a tough total right there. You can make an argument to go over, but at this point, I'm going under. The Los Angeles Chargers are interesting. They have a really good defense. All of Derwin James is now out for the year. Their total is 8. Do they win 8 games? I think Tyrod Taylor will play a little bit better than people expected. You're not going to expect light years out of him. This is probably the best situation he's been in as far as terms of talent around him. But, he is getting a little bit of that post-Hard Knocks hype. And I think 8 wins, though, I would take. That's a tough one. I'm going to go. That's going to be a push. So you might be under that. I would go 8, 8.5. I would go. They got to get 9 wins for you to beat it. I'm going to go 9 because they got a good defense that's going to keep it close. They're going to be able to run the ball. They improved their offensive line. But how good can Tyrod play? That's a tough one for me. Now, remember, I'm going to tell you all these win totals. It doesn't mean I'm going to bet them all. Okay, but we will keep track of that throughout the year. So you have your Cardinals, you have your Rams. You're going to also have in that division your Seattle Seahawks, who are at 9 wins. I mean, Russell Wilson seems to magically pull a good season out of his ass every year. Coached well. They draft well. I'm going to go over on the 9. And they're a contender here. And the reigning division champs, it would be the San Francisco 49ers. They're 10.5, which is a high win total. If they get healthy, I think they'll be good again. They've lost some players. They've added some players. They gained players back from injury they didn't have last year. They're still going to have a good defense. 10.5, I would go under and take them for 10 wins. I think they sneak in as a wild card if they make the playoffs at all this year. It's going to be harder for them. And I think they'll have some success. But if you look at the track record of teams losing a Super Bowl, their next year usually isn't too kind to them. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks to win this division. And obviously, I think the Cardinals are going to challenge. I mean, they're going to beat up on each other. So it's going to be interesting. Cam Akers should be a good running back for them. The Los Angeles Rams, he's been impressing in camp. It's a little difficult, fans, this year to really get a good feel for your team because you're only having team reporters, not as many beat reporters. Their access is limited because what's going on with COVID. So some things are coming out as a surprise that might have leaked out in the press. The teams love it, trust me, but it's not good for the fans. So take the information you hear with a grain of salt. I'm going to give you another one, and we'll go to the NFC South. The Buccaneers are at 9.5 wins. I do think they're going to go over. I think Bruce Arians is a great coach for veterans. They have improved some things. Anybody who thinks Leonard Fournette not going there isn't going there to be the man is out of their mind. When he says Ronald Jones is your guy, our guy, they brought in LaShawn McCoy, who's at the tail end of his career, even though that's their guy. They have a third down back that's not their guy, but they still brought him in, and they drafted another running back in the 3rd round. So if this guy's your guy, but you brought in 4 running backs. Mike, you don't know sports, but if someone's your guy and you bring in 4 other guys that could do his job, does that really mean he's your guy?
If you had to use 4 guys to replace one guy?
Meaning like he said you were the number 1 guy for that position, but he brought in 4 other guys that could do your job.
4 other guys that could, like this guy, this guy, this guy. Each one of these guys can do your job.
Are they really that confident that you can do the job?
Absolutely not.
Right.
No.
So Tampa Bay Buccaneers now got a good running back. In the last 24 hours, I think they improved their chances. He is a stud. Do not believe the hype. He can pass block. He caught 76 passes as well. And the Jaguars are just a bad organization. They're the worst in the NFL right now. So there will be your division winners, but we're going to go through these other teams that are in the NFC South. I mean, it's going to be a tight race between them and the Saints. Drew Brees, New Orleans Saints win total 10.5. That's a high win total. I hate 10.5 win totals. I'd rather be 11. I'm going to go under 10.5. I just think their division's stronger this year. They got a better quarterback in Tampa Bay now. Now you got Drew Brees. Going under 10.5. The Carolina Panthers have a first-year head coach. They're 5.5. I don't know what they're doing. They got Christian McCaffrey. I wouldn't get pegged them for any more than 5 wins. They're going to finish dead last in their division. There's no way. The defense is horrible. You have a new coach, and teams that are going to be at a distinct disadvantage that have a coach implementing a new system in the COVID era because they can do it, but they're learning how to do it because it hasn't been something they've ever had to do. So the other team, we got the Buccaneers. We got our good old Atlanta Falcons. They're at 7.5. They didn't have a good offense, fantasy gold, but they don't have a good defense. Hayden Hurst is replacing Austin Hooper. You bring in Todd Gurley. Devontae Freeman is now gone. Can they get over 7.5 wins? And I think they could be an 8-win team. I think a lot of these teams are going to beat each other up in the division, notwithstanding the Panthers or withstanding the Panthers. And I think you can go for 8 wins with them, but their defense is going to lose a lot of games. So that's your AFC West. And now we're going to do, or your NFC West, we're going to do the NFC North. And I know a lot of people have been waiting for this one. NFC North, you got your Lions, your Packers, your Vikings, and your Bears. I think this division is going to be really, really weird this year. I don't know if the Minnesota Vikings, they did just get Nakwe, which is a very good player. I don't know how good their defense is going to be this year. I've been reading a lot about it. I guess we got to see it. Some people have them ranked 20th right now. How good will they be? Is this kid going to be worth the trade? I mean, it definitely makes it an upgrade. They got 2 really good defensive ends in Daniil Hunter and Yannick Ngakoue. So their win total is 9. Delvin Cook's healthy. I mean, I got to say they go over 9. I got to give them 10. Kirk Cousins is a serviceable quarterback. But when you look at all the other teams, can the Packers get 13 wins again? That's not happening. Their win total is 9. Or can they go above 9? It's possible. You have Aaron Rodgers. I think he's pissed off. I think he's going to play pissed off. I think Devontae Adams is going to freak out this year. I don't know if Aaron Jones has as good a year as he had last year, but he will be good. They draft a running back in the 2nd round, probably because they don't plan on paying him, right? And do they go over 9? I think it's possible they'll be at 9, a 10-win team, so you could do that. They're going to be one of the better teams in the league as far as offensive talent. First-year head coach getting 13 wins. Nobody thought that they were going to be able to beat San Francisco and San Francisco. I had San Francisco pegged last year, but no one thought they were going to go on the road and win a game because here's the problem. You could run on that team, so you could take the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. Run the ball. If a running team beats up on them, you're going to see it. The Eagles did it to them in week 3. They ran on him all day long. It looked like Jordan Howard's best game of his career. And that's a guy they've seen several times because he used to be on the Bears. Chicago Bears. Now, this is a tough one. I don't think they win a division. I think they might win 9 games. They might win 7. It depends because there's a quarterback controversy going on. They said Nick Foles hasn't done enough to separate himself from Mitchell Trubisky. He's only played well on the Eagles, so maybe that theme holds true. I'm wishing him all the success, and so is my fantasy football team when you draft certain players like Allen Robinson, who I think is quarterback-proof. He had a good year with Mitchell Trubisky last year. He can have a good year with Nick Foles, who is either going to be just as good as Mitchell or better, in my opinion. I think he's the better quarterback. He's better at passing the ball, making the reads, and it's his job to win. But they're saying out of camp, they don't know. Now, if that changed in the last couple hours, I'm not sure because there's a lot of news flying around today. But the Bears, I don't think are making the playoffs, personally. If they do, they're going to have to squeeze in as a 6th seed. You got the Detroit Lions. I mean, 6.5 is their total. I don't think they're winning the division. Are they improved? They made some improvements on the offensive line. I can't tell with that team. If they stay healthy, I think they're over 6.5. I think easily. That doesn't mean they're a playoff team, though. So, am I missing anything? Oh, we're missing the Packers. We got the Lions. That's your favorite team, Mike. The Fudge Packers.
Jackass.
Yeah, no, that's his favorite team. The Bears and the Vikings. So we talked about them all. The Vikings, I think, are going to win that division this time. I still don't think they're just going to. I think they're going to be a little bit better offensively than they are defensively, personally. But picking up that defensive end could be a game changer. I know I have a friend that's a Vikings fan. He's going to wildly disagree with me. He could call in and challenge me at 856-485-9565. So that's all of our teams today. I believe we hit every division on there. We got all the divisions. I don't think we lost one. We got the North, we got the West, we got the South, we got the NFC East last week, and that's pretty much that. I don't think we did AFC West though. And I'll do that real quick, just in case we didn't. For anybody that wasn't listening last, 11.5 wins for the Chiefs. That's a huge number. Great team. Added some weapons. I'm gonna go 11 wins for them. I'll go under the 11.5. You got the Chargers. We already talked about them, because they're in Los Angeles, even though they're in the AFC West. And then we have the Denver Broncos. Now they're interesting. They're at 8. Much improved defense. Vic Fangio, a defensive mind. A lot of optimism and upside for Drew Lock. They made some draft picks, signed Melvin Gordon. I think they can get over 8 wins. I think that's definitely a sneaky team that can win you some upsets during the year if you're betting. And the other team is the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. Not a fan of when teams leave cities they were there for a long time. Oakland and LA wasn't a huge move, but they abandoned their fans. 7.5 wins. I don't know if John Gruden in his third year is ever going to be able to put it all together. It just seems there's a lot of puzzling moves. They're really still unsure at receiver. They've had some injuries. They're an 8-win team at best. Did their defense get better? It was horrendous last year. I don't expect a lot more out of the Raiders, and we'll see if Nelson Aguilar can save the day, because now he's on the Raiders. So that's pretty much all we got this week for football. Pat will give us his picks sooner or later. We're going to start having them in person as the games launch, and we'll give you a half an hour of rapid-fire picks when it comes up with the NFL season, as you know we like to do. Me and Pat will keep a running contest throughout the year, bet a fictitious amount of money, and give you betting advice, and hopefully you can cash in with us here on Taking It Deep. And that's it for that. Thanks for listening today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, everybody, for commenting. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for telling your mom about it and your hot aunt. And, just remember, this is the Godfrey. Not saying goodbye, just saying take it deep.